You're watching the Sun Belt Conference on ESPN as we welcome you to Center Park Credit Union Stadium in downtown Atlanta for just the second all-time meeting between the Murray State Racers and the Georgia State Panthers, and the first meeting since the 2011 season, which was just the second season of college football for Georgia State University. So it's been a while. And good evening, I'm Matt Stewart, joined by Sam Crenshaw. Panthers 0-2 on the season, losses to Ole Miss and Memphis, looking for their first win of the season here tonight. Played the dual quarterback system last week against Memphis with TJ Finley getting the start and Cam Brown subbing in, and we expect more of that tonight.
Matt, the quarterback position, once again, the story for Georgia State in this game tonight. We saw what happened last week. TJ Finley cleared to join the team and thrusted right into the starting position right away for Georgia State, and it looked good early. He completed his first 10 attempts against Memphis, and that was the good news, but he left the game in the first half with an injury. Enter Cam Brown, who would finish that particular drive, get them into the end zone, but Finley returned in the second half, and the offense stalled for Georgia State. They want to improve on that tonight, Matt.
And as you take a look at the numbers from last week's loss to Memphis, Coach Dale McGee said this week he probably should have played Cam Brown in the second half. We see what happens here tonight. Now the story for Murray State, they're 0-2 on the season in their second season of their rebuild under Jody Wright, and it's been 366 days since they won their last game under Coach Wright, their first and only game under Coach Wright. They got 80 new players on the roster this season, including Dylan Rousey, who leads the Missouri Valley Football Conference in tackles.
You want to see one of those new guys on your roster step up and take a lead role? Here's Rousey, a big hitter and a transfer from Itawamba Community College. He does a lot. He's going to be very active. You're going to watch for number 9 in white tonight. And hey, he's a hit man. Let's see if he can put on some hits on a Saturday night in Atlanta.
Sam, it's another warm night here in Atlanta. 82 degrees, no chance for rain, which is a good thing. Feels like 88 on the field right now.
Does feel like it's a nice warm evening, but a good evening. No threats of bad weather, no lightning delays or any of that type thing. We're going to have football here tonight.
There's head coach Jody Wright, 1-13 as the Racers head coach. Great guy. Had good time talking to him this week, and he'll get this program going in the right spot. He says, we got the right people on the bus. Now we just got to get them in the right seats. So the Panthers will start on offense here. The opening kickoff returned out to the 23-yard line. And that's where Georgia State will start, 20-yard return. And TJ Finley expected to get the start for head coach Dale McGee's team. He is 3-11 now in his second season as the Panthers head coach.
And we'll see how Finley does in his second start. We saw him get off to a great start, as we mentioned earlier, in his first start last week. Here he is, bringing the team onto the field. Let's see if he can pick up where he left off in the first half of last week's game.
And Coach McGee felt like his performance in the second half was really not a result of the injury that he suffered in the first half, but more that Finley got away from the game plan, was trying to win the game by himself. First play of the game is a pass out on the edge going to Ted Hurst. And Hurst up to the 26-yard line.
Still hearing voices from that first game where you didn't get the ball to Hurst enough. Let's get that out of the way early tonight. He gets the first touch.
Finley 201 through the air last week against Memphis in the 38-16 loss. Had 27 yards rushing when you take away the 4 quarterback sacks that he took in that game. Robinson is the running back. Ball out, goes to Hurst again at the 29-yard line. Hurst got tackled right away by Marlon Pons, their cornerback, and it's going to be third down.
Marlon Pons with a great solo stop. Watch for number 7 in white. He's there with delivers a hit right away.
Back-to-back passes going to Ted Hurst. 7 catches last week against Memphis after just 1 at Ole Miss. Third down and short for Georgia State. Now it's going to be third down and longer than that as Georgia State had movement on the offensive line. Leo Blackburn, the wide receiver, took off running.
Those pre-snap infractions.
So the Panthers sub out personnel here, and they had the big package in there for a short yardage play. Now they bring in the wide receivers. So 3rd down and 7 now following the penalty on Blackburn. Ball goes out here complete to Robinson, and that'll be a 1st down as the Panthers get past the 30 on the play.
Let's see where they're marking that.
Oh, wow, they did not get the 1st down. It's going to be 4th down. Pardon me.
4th down, yeah.
I was thinking the ball was spotted down at the 20. It was actually spotted down on the 23. So my mistake there, my 1st of the year. It's going to be 4th down. Just kidding, folks. Reed Chanley on to punt, standing at his 17-yard line. Chanley gets it out of there. And the ball is going to be spotted out as the official nearly took a tumble running down the sideline. Going to be spotted out at the 43-yard line, so ends up being just a 25-yard punt by Chanley.
Spectacular move by that official. Stayed on his feet.
And here is Jim Ogle come in to run the show for Murray State. He was in concussion protocol after taking a hit against Southeast Louisiana last week. Got cleared to play. 480 yards passing so far on the season through the first 2 games. Ranks 18th in D1 with that 480 yards passing. It's the most for the Racers quarterback, or a Racers quarterback, since 2016 through the first 2 games. Ogle dumps it off to Kleinpeter, the tight end, and Kleinpeter going to be dragged down at the 47-yard line. Demaine Wilson making that tackle.
Demaine Wilson having a great freshman season for Georgia State. One of the core of that defense that returned. Expecting big things. There you look at Kleinpeter.
Out of Savannah Country Day, a number of the Georgia players on this Murray State roster. Second down, ball goes to Northington, and Northington, 1st down carry for him all the way down to the 41-yard line. Jawan Northington.
Coach Wright has great things to say about him, and you can see why. Very determined running on that play. Moves the chains and gets the 1st down.
11-yard pickup for Northington. He's played in 27 games for the Racers, one of the few holdovers from before Coach Jody Wright. Going to get the rock again, and Northington, another strong run for him inside the 40-yard line, down to the 37. And got some scuffling going on at the 35-yard line.
'71, there's Chase Hamilton. He's back home.
Yeah, he played at Sprayberry High School in Marietta. Waiting for the officials to sort this one out.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, offense, number 71, 15-yard penalty. It will be 2nd down.
That's just an absolute killer for Murray State, because they had been moving the ball well here on their opening drive and had gotten it all the way down to the 36-yard line. And then watch 71 here get up off the, there it is.
Well, he comes in after the fact.
It's always the second guy. So that pushes them back to the 48-yard line. Ogle to the air, complete out there on the edge. Catch made by Cam Bullock, and it's going to be 3rd down. Sam, let's take a look at the impact players when the Racers have the ball.
You want to watch. You've already seen Northington. You know what he's going to do. And there's Darius Cannon, outstanding wide receiver. Josiah Robinson, Marlon Dean, linebackers. They'll be very active for Georgia State.
Cannon playing back here in Atlanta, played in this building in the 2022 state championship game for Gainesville. Dumped off, and there's Cannon right on cue, and Cannon dives forward to the 35-yard line. It's going to be 4th down and short. Bet they go for it here.
We mentioned Cannon there. He makes the play here, but they're still short of that 1st down. You're on the road. You're trying to get some things going. You're trying to get that first win.
Haven't won in over a year. You're going for it.
Let's go.
4th down and 3. Handoff, nope. Keeper by Ogle. Ball got batted down. Demaine Wilson knocks it down, and the ball goes over on downs.
Wilson, no doubt, hearing the coaches in the background saying, "It's getting ready to throw. Get your hands up."
Panthers get the stop on defense. They'll be on offense when we get back. For the second time scoreless here at Center Park Credit Union Stadium. Matt Stewart along with Sam Crenshaw. Sam, let's take a look at the impact players when the Panthers have the ball.
Rashad Amos has been the most productive running back for Georgia State so far. Ted Hurst, we know about him already. Linebacker crew there, Conley Cosno. In the middle, number 5, watch for him. He had a big game last week as well. And Brian Pulley, the cornerback, to watch for him as well on the defensive side of the ball for the Racers.
So 1st and 10 for Georgia State. Ball sitting on the 30. 3 and out on their opening possession. Now possession number 2. Robinson in there at running back. Finley's going to go to the air and goes to Robinson. And Robinson out of bounds past the yardage market for a 1st down at the 46.
Javon Robinson, of course, has made his presence known in both of the first 2 ball games. Finding the end zone.
Robinson, the Panthers' leading receiver through the first 2 games, 8 catches for 130 yards and a couple of touchdowns. 1st and 10. Handoff goes to Branson Robinson. Robinson, big run for Branson Robinson. Inside the 20. And finally out of bounds at the 7-yard line as Marlon Pons stops a touchdown for now.
Georgia State fans are excited about Branson Robinson, the transfer from UGA, shaking some defenders and showing he can run away and get more yards. Impressive run.
46-yard run for Robinson, who had only 10 carries for 14 yards in the Panthers' first 2 games. Getting the start here tonight, so obviously he's had a big week of practice for Georgia State. 1st and goal to go. Ball sitting at the 7. Finley to the air and broken up. Brian Pulley stepped in front of that pass intended for Ted Hurst.
Just mentioned Pulley being an impact player, and watch him step right in. Nice defensive play to knock that one away.
Second down and goal from the 7. Panthers have not been nearly as effective as they want in the red zone. Amos gets the ball, and Amos down to the 1. That's been one of the issues for the Panthers here early in the season, is red zone offense not efficient. Third down and goal from the 2.
Amos gets them close. Let's see if they can finish.
Amos, the Panthers' leading rusher, 15 carries, 88 yards in the first 2 games. Those are the numbers I was talking about with Georgia State in the red zone. Amos stays in there at running back, gets the handoff, and gets hit in the backfield. He's going to get stopped. It's going to be 4th down and goal. Big time play by Murray State right there. Trace Ruckman, the nickelback, was the main man who made the tackle. Panthers going for it on 4th down and goal from the 2. Robinson back in there at running back. Panthers going to go to the air, fade route, going to Hurst, jump ball, touchdown, Georgia State.
You wanted to finish the drive. You want to get into the end zone. You go to your preseason all-conference selection, and Finley shows you the touch. Put it in the right place where only your receiver can get it.
And Ted Hurst, the Sun Belt preseason first-team wide receiver, jumps up and gets it. 3 catches already for Hurst in this game. And the Panthers have a 6-0 lead. 6 plays, 65 yards for Georgia State. And McAllister's going to take the PAT here. This is another one of the moves the Panthers have made in the first couple of games, with McAllister taking over as the #1 kicker. So McAllister is typically the holder. So now that he's kicking, Bo Gaines is going to hold for him. Joe Laterza is the snapper. The kick is up and good, and Georgia State has a 7-0 lead. So second time the Panthers touch the ball, they get in the end zone. Finley up top. Touchdown toss to Hurst. Georgia State leads 7-0. Ted Hurst with his first touchdown catch of the season. That gives him 10 now for his career with the Panthers after he set the single-season program record a year ago with 9 in the 2024 season en route to earning all Sun Belt second-team honors. Also bookmark that moment, Sam. That's the first career touchdown pass for T.J. Finley as a Georgia State Panther.
Absolutely. But Hurst, a tremendous story coming in from Division II Valdosta State, product of Jenkins High School down in Savannah. They got to be awfully proud of what he's done here with the Panthers.
But Georgia State has a 7-0 lead on Murray State. McAllister will kick off from the 35. Tale of two fourth downs on that sequence. Murray State got stopped on fourth down. Panthers converted for a touchdown on fourth down. McAllister's kick goes to the back of the end zone, so the Racers will bring it out to the 25.
There you get a look at the offensive line for Murray State.
Coming off a 45-24 loss against Southeast Louisiana last week. Opened the season with a 45-17 loss at ETSU. They've given up 90 points in their first 2 games. They've lost 11 in a row, dating back to last year. It's been a tough rebuild so far for Jody Wright. Pass thrown incomplete, looking for Cannon at the 40-yard line. Coach Wright's got a great resume. He's worked with some of the best coaches in the business. Been on Shane Beamer's staff, Nick Saban's staff, Lane Kiffin, Billy Napier. Worked with Kirby Smart, Sylvester Croom, Bill Clark, and Joe Judge when he was with the New York Giants.
That's pretty impressive.
So he knows what he's doing. Cannon gets the toss. And Darius Cannon up to the 28-yard line. Going to bring up third down. There's Jody Wright, 20th head coach in program history. Got the job late. Got it in January 2024. Not unlike Del McGee when he got the job in February of 2024. So he faced a lot of the same issues from a roster standpoint that Del faced.
Really enjoyed talking with him, though.
So third down and 7. Line to gain is the 35. Ogle stands in the pocket, fires off the hands of his target at the 39-yard line. That was Cannon, the intended target. It's going to be fourth down. Ogle's thrown 4 interceptions this season. Coach Wright says all but one of them went through the hands of a wide receiver. They like him a lot. He is the son of the offensive coordinator. It's Tom O'Hara, one of the bright spots in this Murray State program, second in the Missouri Valley Football Conference a year ago. As a freshman, close to 45 yards per kick. Low snap, he goes down and gets it. Spinning kick that's going to hit at the 37 and check up and go backwards, and Murray State finally snags it at the 42. 29-yard kick for O'Hara. And that's where the Panthers will go back on offense.
It's quite a story how he landed.
One of the many kickers that have come here from the continent of Australia. Timeout on the field, 7-0 lead, Georgia State. starting center for the Panthers tonight, number 54, Tyler Williams, sliding over from the guard position, Sam, because Alec A.J. Johnson's out sick.
He's going to step in, and that's the whole thing. We talked about the difference in cadence, maybe with different quarterbacks changing, but now you're seeing some changes in your interior line.
Cam Brown now in there at quarterback, and immediately the Panthers moved on the play.
False start. 0 offense. 5-yard penalty. Play first down.
So after 2 series and after Finley leading them on a touchdown drive, Cam Brown gets his first action of the night.
He gets tacked on an extra 5 yards because Cameron Overton moved.
16 of 26, 61%, 156 through the air and a touchdown in his first 2 games with the Panthers. Amos lines up next to him, gets the handoff. Rashad Amos cuts outside, then cuts back inside, and Amos going to get stopped there at the 42-yard line. There's those numbers. First 2 games of the season, played well, really well, I thought, in the loss to Memphis last week. And even Del McGee, as I mentioned in the open, said this week, I probably made a mistake. Probably should have had Cam Brown back in there in the second half against the Tigers.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Big strong run for the Panthers across the 50-yard line. Rashad Amos moving the pile.
And the work of that offensive line, as you just mentioned, some people have changed some positions, traded some places. You watch to see, but now they got a 3rd down.
Yeah, with Alec Johnson being out, that's kind of set off a domino effect. So a number of guys playing different spots on that offensive line here tonight. 3rd down and short. Cam Brown going to keep it and run to the other side, and Cam Brown going to pick up the first down at the 47. Took a big hit, though. You hate to see that in your quarterback, him take a big hit like that.
Linebacker 45, Clayton Ingram, came up and put on a big hit on him. Gets the first down.
So 1st and 10 for the Panthers at the 47-yard line. Coach Del McGee felt like the running game took a step backwards against Memphis after he felt like overall they played fairly well in the running game against Ole Miss. Helmet comes off as the play is run right into the middle. And that was Branson Robinson, who had the big 46-yard run earlier in this game to set up the first touchdown. Terrell Bailey, the left tackle, lost his helmet, so he's got to come out of the game.
You're already making some adjustments with your offensive line. Now your starting left tackle has to come out for a play.
Get on my soapbox. I don't know why a player has to come out of the game unless they take the helmet off. If it gets knocked off by a defender, why does the player who loses the helmet get penalized by having to come out of the game?
68, Mason Cook takes his spot.
Second down, Robinson gets the handoff, looking for a lane to run in, and gets stopped at the 39-yard line. Kobe Roberts, the defensive end, young man out of Idaho, made that tackle. Going to be 3rd down and short. Robinson, last week against Memphis, 5 carries, 5 yards. He's already done much better than that here tonight. Got the start, had the big run to set up the first touchdown. 3rd down and short now for the Panthers at the 39. Amos now in there at running back. Brown going up top, looking for Hurst, caught over the shoulder inside the 10.
And you can tell those two have a little chemistry working, Matt. You saw it work on the touchdown play, and here it is. Just going to float it out there and let his best receiver go out and make that catch.
That's a 31-yard gain. Handoff goes to Amos. He's going to get stopped at the 6.
Trace Rickman in on the stop that time. Murray State.
2nd down and goal from the 6. DJ Braswell comes into the game at running back for the first time tonight. And Brown fires in the middle, overshoots Hurst that time. They had him covered up with Brian Pulley. It's going to be third down.
Racers changed some personnel on the defensive front. Cameron Daniels, number 90, checks into the game. Another local product out of Collins Hill.
Panthers 1 for 3 on third downs. Brown fires, touchdown! Ball goes to Leo Blackburn. 13-0 Georgia State. Well, Hugh Jackson, the offensive coordinator for the Panthers, said he felt like it was just a matter of time with Blackburn, who transferred here from Georgia Tech.
You see there in the back of the end zone, gets that foot down, makes the catch as Brown threaded the needle perfectly.
Saw Blackburn play at Westlake High School here in Atlanta. I thought he was going to be an outstanding college wide receiver, and his career never took off at Georgia Tech after his first summer there with the Yellow Jackets. Suffered a bad knee injury. McAllister with the PAT, hoping to find new life here at Georgia State, and that's his first touchdown catch with the Panthers.
Here's a look at him.
Like I said in the open, just like last week, I thought the offense responded. Didn't really matter who was at quarterback, whether it was Cam Brown or TJ Finley. The offense plays with energy with either one of them in the game.
Absolutely, absolutely. And a lot of that has to do with the offensive line. And I remember a week ago, we asked that question to Alec Johnson, who is not able to play tonight. And we said, is there a difference? Is there a difference when you hear different cadence and change? He says, no. You know, we make the adjustment, the offensive line, and we're fine. You know, we can able to do it either of the quarterbacks that are back there. They're showing that.
14-0 lead for the Panthers here. Under 3 minutes to play in the opening quarter. Dale McGee told us this week when we visited with him that Murray State had their full attention, but he fully expected his team to play well tonight. And so far they have, as the ball goes to the back of the end zone, and Murray State will come out to the 25-yard line. A little bit different scenario than the first time these two teams played back in 2011. The Panthers were an infant program, and the Racers beat them 48-24 that day at the Georgia Dome.
In the Georgia Dome.
A little bit different now, as the Panthers are now in their 16th season of football.
Be ready for PBR.
Ogle fires in the middle, and it's caught. Panthers didn't wrap up, and that's going to be out to the 44-yard line with the catch by Lucas Desjardins.
Watch for Desjardins. Makes the catch. Like you said, you don't wrap him up, you bump him, and he gets more yards.
The Icy Hopkins went for the kill shot there with the big hit and didn't get him on the ground. That'll get him on the ground.
That play, Bishop Thomas. Watch for 16, knife it in there, making the stop.
Jordan Washington had no chance. Did get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd down and 10. Toss goes to Washington. Washington cut down at the 50-yard line. Fillmore getting the start at cornerback here, was the first guy there, and it's going to be 3rd down. Deuce Fillmore getting a start at cornerback here tonight in place of Chams Jine, who's running with the second team. Going to bring up 3rd down and 5. Ogle, first down toss. Ball goes to Cannon, and he makes some things go down to the 36-yard line. Cannon's off to a great start this season after transferring from Kentucky. 11 catches through the first 2 games. That's the most since that 2021 spring season for a Racers player in the first 2 games of the year.
He can show you why he's the guy you want to watch on this team. Made the catch, but it's a great move after the catch to move the sticks for the Racers.
Teammate of Baxter Wright, who's the number 2 quarterback for the Racers. And when Darius went in the transfer portal, Baxter Wright did a good job of getting him here at Murray State to play for Coach Jody Wright's team. They were teammates on that Red Elephants team that was state runners-up in 2022. Ogle, sprint out, throw, and caught is made at the 29-yard line. Great job sticking the landing right there.
Absolutely. Ogle rolling to his right. Finds his guy.
That's Jardins again. Second catch for him. And drags the feet. Brings up second down and short from the 28. Ogle, heavy rush, stands in there, gets it downfield, and Des Jardins again was the target. Going to bring up 3rd down and 2.
Deuce Fillmore defending on that play for Georgia State.
8th play of the drive coming up here for Murray State. Handoff goes to Washington. Washington gets the first down as he lowers his helmet and reaches the 25-yard line.
Talk about the running back combination for Murray State. Either is Dorthington or Washington. Both are very hard, determined runners. Complement each other very well.
Washington, 6'1", 215 redshirt freshman, played in only 4 games last year before suffering a shoulder injury as we reached the end of the first quarter. "15 minutes in the books in Atlanta. Georgia State out to a 14-0 lead on Murray State, but the Racers are driving as we head to the second. quarter, Panthers leading Murray State 14-0. Sam, it was 14 years ago that Georgia State took the field at the Georgia Dome to take on the Murray State Racers.
Looking at the team coming on the field, I saw number 2 is not dressed for the game. That was Albert Wilson, who ended up having a good NFL career.
Bill Curry, the head coach, and we're Northington with the run down to the 16-yard line. So Murray State putting together a fine drive here as they begin the second quarter now at the 16-yard line of the Panthers.
Offensive line is doing some work up front for them. Remember the last possession, earlier possession for them, 71, Chase Hamilton had a miscue. They've been able to keep it clean, and that's important.
2nd down and 1. Handoff goes to Northington again, and he is going to get the first down with the second effort. Still moving the pile. Northington tough to bring down.
No whistle.
And finally all the way down to the 6-yard line.
This guy's been watching the Eagles.
11-yard pickup for Jawan Northington. Coach Jody Wright said when I got here, he was one of the few players that looked like a player and played like a player, playing in his 28th game for the Racers here tonight.
What an effort.
Yeah, not many guys left over. Only 2 starters returned from last year's team. Keeper by Northington again, and he gets close to the end zone and scores the touchdown with a second effort, but there is a flag down on the field. Penalty is going to be against the Panthers, so the touchdown's going to stand. 3rd touchdown rushing of the season for Northington.
Personal foul, hands to the face, defense. 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. Untimed down.
Well, Dale McGee's not happy about that at all. But the Racers have found the end zone. Got their first points of the night.
They were concerned about Northington. Travis Pearson, the Panthers defensive coordinator, when we talked to him during the week, they were concerned about the physicality of Northington, and he exhibited that for you on that drive. PAT, little chip shot, just makes it over the crossbar. And it's 14-7. Jawan Northington gets the Racer. Murray State cuts the Georgia State lead to 14-7. 75-yard drive, 10 plays, just under 4 minutes. Northington 3 carries, 25 yards, and the touchdown on that drive. 5 rush, 5 pass for the Racers. They've had their troubles in the first half, but impressive drive right there. And Jody Wright said, my message to the team, challenge them every week, is every week we just want to close the gap a little bit more. Right now, the gap's only 1 touchdown.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's a young team, a lot of youth on this team, but he recruited players from successful programs, man. He talked about some of the programs around the Southeast in Georgia, Alabama, the teams that are bringing in players who are conditioned to winning. They find ways to win.
So the kickoff coming from the 50, and a squib kick. That was because of the penalty on the Panthers. Glances off the hands of Braswell. He's got to get on top of that thing. He's trying to run it out of the end zone. He's going to make it out of the end zone and get driven out of bounds at the 5-yard line. Wow. T.J. Braswell, instead of just getting back on that ball and falling on it and taking a touchback, tried to run it out.
And that's when the kick is a little bit different. Some things can happen, those bounces and things you may not expect. The ball is designed to do that.
And that was not Braswell, my pardon. That was T.J. Payton, the freshman, on the return, not Braswell. That was Payton who tried to run it out right there. So it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Panthers at the 5-yard line. And that's Braswell who gets the carry. And he gets swarmed under after just a 1-yard gain.
Got Finley back at quarterback for this possession.
T.J. Braswell last week against Memphis, 5 carries, 15 yards. For the season, 10 carries, 34 yards. 4 catches, just 2 yards. They're waiting for him to break off a big one. Started his career at South Carolina after starring at Washington County High School in East Georgia. 2nd down and long with Finley in there at quarterback, as Sam pointed out. Bullet pass goes to the 10-yard line and caught, but no run after the catch by Ted Hurst.
There's our hit man we talked about before the game, Dylan Rousey.
Yeah, 35 tackles in the first 2 games to lead the Missouri Valley Football Conference. Coach Wright said, like that, but prefer that the safety doesn't have that many tackles. Wants to see that from his linebackers or defensive line. A little bit more evenly spread out. 3rd down and 3. Keeper Finley. Finley going to get dragged down at the 10-yard line. Take a loss. There's a flag down on the field. Abdur Rahim making the tackle. Let's check the call. Penalty going against the Panthers, very similar.
Hands to the face. Offense, number 56. The penalties decline. Be 4th down. The defender may stay in the ball game. His helmet was pushed with the foul.
So 56 is DeAndre Duffus.
Defender number 94.
So that's the 2nd time the Panthers have had a hands to the face penalty here in the last couple of minutes. You can see it right there in the middle. And that's what put them in this hole to begin with, because they had the kickoff came from the 50-yard line. So Chanley on to punt. Low line drive kick, returnable from the 49. Cannon all the way down to the 29-yard line. Darius Cannon, great return. That was a low kick. Not a good kick by Chanley right there that gave Murray State ample opportunity for the return. Racers in good field position when they come back out on offense after this. Back in Atlanta, early second quarter, Georgia State leading Murray State 14-7, but great opportunity right here for Murray State to tie this game up after getting a great punt return by Darius Cannon, Sam, and they've got the ball at the 29-yard line.
Looking at the Georgia State defensive unit go back out, DeIcy Hopkins out with an upper body injury. We'll check to see if his status if he returns. Safety for Georgia State.
Hopkins has been one of their best players back there at those safety positions. Now he's on the sideline. First down and 10 from the 29-yard line. Ogle, their quarterback, is 7 for 11, 66 yards. Handoff goes Northington. He's been running hard, and Northington down to the 24-yard line. There's a penalty flag down. Bishop making the tackle. Actually, that was not Bishop that time. That was Jabril Rhodes-Nelson getting the start at defensive end tonight.
Getting time of that defensive end stop. We saw Sir Mills get an injury last week and leave the game. Carted from the field. Rhodes-Nelson in that spot.
Penalty on the Racers backs them up to the 49-yard line, or 39-yard line, pardon me. Makes it 1st and 20. Ogle to the air, complete to Cannon, and Cannon down to the 31. Cannon with his third catch. Fourth catch, actually. He had 3 for 29 prior to that. Now he's got 4. Second down. See the 20 catches. Second in the nation. Handoff goes to Northington, and he's proven tough to get on the ground. Rhodes-Nelson making the tackle right there, but Northington running hard for the Racers.
They got a 3rd and long right here, though.
He's thick, 5'9", 217. 6 carries, 41 yards tonight, and the 1 touchdown for the Racers. 3rd down and long. Northington gets it again and leans his body down to the 25. This leaves him 5 yards short, though.
Number of Panthers in on that stop.
Let's see if they go for it here. I would think, given the situation they're in, 1-13 the last 2 seasons under Coach Wright, losers of 11 in a row, they're rolling the dice.
Why not?
4th down. Ogle, pressure coming, fires, incomplete. Tried to go to Jalen Richmond right there and got broken up. 4th down.
Yeah, Jermaine
Ball goes
Wilson
over
there.
on downs.
Jermaine Wilson there on the stop for Georgia State. There you see him, number 1. Won the confidence of Coach McGee last year as a freshman. They had the green dot on the back of his helmet as a freshman, true freshman.
Came into this game with 6 tackles in the first couple of games, 3 solo and a PBU, and another PBU right there. Came on 4th down. That's a big play by Wilson as the Panthers go back on offense. And Finley back out there at quarterback. Cam Brown has played 1 series, led the Panthers on a touchdown drive. Georgia State still up 14-7 here in the second quarter. Finley with the pocket, going deep, and broken up by Pons there on the coverage of Ted Hurst.
Finley had time. It seemed like he hung it out there just a little too long. Allowed the defenders to come over and make the play on that one, and Pons comes over and makes the play.
Pons maybe got a piece of that jersey.
Yeah,
too.
that left hand.
Second down and 10. Robinson changes directions, and Robinson gets cut down by Rousey at the 29-yard line. Again, a flag down on the play.
Personal foul, illegal block below the waist. Offense, number 0, half the distance to the goal. Replay, second down.
So that's going to be on the tight end, Cam Overton, who seemed shocked by the call.
Can't believe. Yeah, there's the play right there.
So that backs up the Panthers to the 13-yard line. 12.5. Line to gain is the 35, so a long way to go for Georgia State. Finley fires out to the other side and incomplete. Pons breaks it up again. They've given Pons the assignment of covering Ted Hurst. It's been a good battle out there tonight.
He's taking him on.
Hurst does have 5 catches for 46 yards and 1 touchdown. Panthers 8 of 30 on third down conversions so far this season. Much better against Memphis than they were at Ole Miss. All underneath goes to Braswell. Braswell jitterbugs out to the 27-yard line. Going to be well short of the first down, though, and it's going to be 4th down punting situation for Georgia State after a 14-yard pickup by Braswell. So the kicking game, specifically the punting game, something the Panthers worked on a great deal this week because they felt like last week they did not do a good job of punting the ball in the direction where their gunners were running. We already saw one big return by Cannon here tonight. This is a bomb. Cannon has to go back and get it. Fair catch made over the shoulder at the 15-yard line, and big punt right there by Reed Chanley. Backs the Pacers up deep in their own end. They'll be on offense when we get back. Number 10, Henry Bryant, Preseason All-Sun Belt second team. The coaching staff feels like Henry has really played well this season. Still looking for his first tackle here tonight.
He's a holdover. He came in under Coach Sean Elliott from Louisville. Said things were okay at Louisville, but he felt like things were better, and he has not regretted a moment making the move to Georgia State.
Had a hard time getting on the field at Louisville, not because of effort, but simply because he's 5'11", 287 at that level. They're looking for guys a lot taller on that defensive line, but he's found a nice home here at Georgia State. Ogle dumps it off to Kleinpeter at the tight end, and Kleinpeter up to the 28-yard line. 11-yard pickup for Kleinpeter.
Nice run after the catch.
Second catch of the game for the young man out of Savannah Country Day.
Jalen Jones and Derek Maxey on the stop for Georgia State.
Handoff goes to Washington, and he gets swallowed up at the 30-yard line. Washington, first Murray State true freshman to start at running back since 2017. That was a year ago. Played in 4 games, had 22 carries. Really liked what they saw from him, but he got hurt. Ends up redshirting. Washington again tries off right tackle this time. Gets driven back. He's going to bring up third down.
As a look at Josiah Robinson.
Now he's had a big season so far. 11 total tackles, 10 solo, which leads the team. Had 7 solo against Memphis last week. Coach Del McGee says young man plays the game the right way. Third down now for the Racers. Ogle trying to get it to Cannon, got broken up. Good job by the Panthers on defense to deny Cannon the ball. That was Derek Maxey getting the PBU fourth down.
Watch for Maxey coming in and knocking that one free. Figured they'd be going to Cannon. He's been very productive.
4 catches
tonight. Yep.
Yeah, 4 catches, 37 yards for Cannon, but a 3 and out here for Murray State. They'll be giving the ball back to Georgia State now with under 7 minutes to play in the half. O'Hara on to punt for the Racers. Great kick. Fair catch made at the 17-yard line by Robinson. 52-yard kick by O'Hara. It's one of the best in the Missouri Valley Football Conference.
You like me, you're watching to see who comes in at quarterback this time for Georgia State. Look like it's going to still be Finley.
Yeah, they gave 1 series to Cam Brown, and the Panthers did score on that 1 series. But Finley, the 6'7" quarterback, 7 of 10 passing, 46 yards. This is the 6th program in the 6th year that he has played in. 1st and 10, ball at the 15.5. Handoff goes to Robinson. I believe that was Branson Robinson. It was Branson Robinson getting the carry up to the 20-yard line. A little bit of confusion for a lot of folks in regard to TJ Finley and his path to Georgia State. A lot of outlets reported that he arrived on campus September 1st. That's not the case. He actually has been on campus and working out and participating with the team in off-season workouts and then in preseason workouts since May. Finley steps up and fires, complete to Robinson up to the 40-yard line. First down, Panthers. Blackburn, pardon me. 21-yard pickup.
And you can watch, when Finley's got the time, he sends it there and just rifles it in. Great play. Trace Ruckman in on the stop for Murray. But a first down.
1st and 10, Georgia State at their own 41. Finley will sprint out, now throws it deep and trying to get the ball out there to Robinson. And it's intercepted. Intercepted by Pons inside the 5-yard line. He took it away from Javon Robinson.
It looks like both of them wrapped at the ball at the same time. Thought Robinson had the catch. But it was Pons that came down with it. What a takeaway.
And Pons has had a nice game here for the Racers tonight. Just took it right out of Javon Robinson's hands right here. Actually, the ball got to him and never really did get to Robinson. On further review, as they like to say, he actually just made the catch. First turnover for either team here tonight as Pons comes up big for the Racers. They are going to review that. In live action and the one replay look we had, it looked like a clean interception for Pons. They're going to check to see if the ball hit the ground, which it might have. They might call this an incomplete. You could see, I don't know whether we have it in replay, after he made the reception and they were all celebrating, Coach Jody Wright went running down the sideline and said, give me the ball, let's get the ball back in, because he probably had a feeling this might come back.
Maybe so. It was a great play now by Pons to get in there and take what looked like it was going to be a catch by Robinson and take it away from him. But did he come down with it cleanly?
Yeah, it looks like the ball hits the ground. I don't know that he took it all the way to the ground. And there he is. He's like, come on, get off the field. Give me that football. Now, let's see if the replay, he gets the football and tosses it back. He says, give me the football, give me the football. Let's give this back to the officials.
Coach Wright.
Man, he wanted to get the next. Let's get another play run before they can look at that thing. So, great job. Like we said, great time visiting with him today. And you got to believe he's going to get this Murray State program back in the right direction. It's been a long time since they had a great season. They've had some good seasons along the way, but it's been a while, about 30 years, going back to the days of Coach Houston Nutt.
That's just it. He's in a program that has had some great men coaching to lead this program in the past. He's following some impressive footsteps.
He said that's one of the things that attracted him to the job. He's seen the guys that have come through the program as coaches. But he admits they were a lot further behind than he even thought when he took over the program. He says they've made up 10 years in 1 year. And you can see the ball sitting there dragging on the ground. Or maybe that was his elbow dragging on the ground. But I think he trapped it. They're still looking at that thing right now. It says they made up 10 years in 1 year. They still got 10 years to go.
Facilities and things of that nature needed to be upgraded. And those things are so important when you're building a program. You want to make it as attractive as possible.
Said Nico Yanko, their
ruling of interception on the field is upheld. First down, Murray
wow,
State.
It's going to stand. How about that? So break for Murray State. I thought that ball was on the ground, but Pons comes up with the pick. So Murray State goes on offense at the 5.5. Great play by him. I was going to say that Nico Yanko, who is the AD at Murray State, played at Murray State and was a big reason why Coach Jody Wright took the job. So 1st and 10 for the Racers. They get the pick. First turnover of the game for either team. Handoff goes to Northington. Northington just a couple of yards on the play right there. This is their 5th drive or 5th series on offense. Twice they've been stopped on 4th down. They punted once and scored a touchdown. That's one of the things Travis Pearson, the DC, said to us. He said, look, they're going to come in here. You just don't know what they're going to do. And he knows Jody. They all know Jody from his days back in Alabama on Nick Saban's staff. Northington, tough run right in there. Up to the 8-yard line. You see number 62, Will Peroni, their center. He played in this building back in the 2019 state championship game for the Marietta Blue Devils.
There's a look at him.
He's in his 6th year. I saw the name on the roster. I said, that can't still be Will Peroni from the 2019 team in Marietta, and it was. Of course, the offensive line coach for the Racers, Coach Adam Ross, is a Marietta Blue Devil himself. 3rd down and 8. Lots of Atlanta connections. Ogle retreating, throws it to Cannon, and a safety. 2nd straight week, the Panthers record a safety. How about that? Jalen Jones coming up from his defensive back position to stop Cannon in the end zone, and 2 points for the Panthers.
Jalen Jones read that play like a book. Right there waiting to make the stop. Boy, he's coming all the way.
You don't often see a safety, much less safeties in back-to-back weeks, but the Panthers defense produces one here tonight against Murray State.
Big defensive stop.
So 16-7, and now the Panthers will get the ball back. And again, a free kick here for Murray State. And we'll see if they elect to punt or kick off. A lot of times, teams will elect to punt on the free kick rather than kick off, because with the punt, it doesn't go as far, but you get less of the return because of the kicking the ball high in the air, and your defenders can get down there. It looks like they're going to kick off here.
There's Peyton. Last time they had the kick that rolled and got away from it.
So Tannehill has it set up. They're going to kick it off the tee. So this gives the Panthers an opportunity at a return, as Peyton is standing at the 12. Line drive kick that Peyton is going to scoop up at the 22-yard line. TJ Payton still moving up to the 45. Panthers get great field position, so they get the safety, they get the 2 points, and then they get great field position out of it on a 20-yard return.
3:42 to go until halftime, Matt. You remember a week ago, Coach McGee talked about the middle 8.
By rule, the runner's helmet came off at the 42-yard line. It will be 1st down.
So they pushed the spot of the ball back to the 42, as you heard the official explain, because the helmet came off. Panthers at 186 in total offense as Finley brings the offense back out. And now a 9-point lead for Georgia State. Branson Robinson, short game for the Panthers right there.
You're in that territory in the first half. You got the ball back. You can run this clock down and try to get some points on the board and try to deny your opponent scoring points going into the locker room. That's what happened in the first 2 games with Georgia State.
Neither team, Sam, has used a timeout yet here in the first half. Play action. Finley to the air, fires, and back shoulder catch by Hurst. Hurst off to the races and down to the 4. Rousey makes the touchdown saving tackle.
How do it know?
Game.
How do it know, huh? Back shoulder, Ted Hurst turns around. There's the ball. And great yards after the catch. There's the hit man, Dylan Rousey, there to stop it.
53-yard gain. Ball goes to Robinson, bounces off a defender, then gets upended by Esplin, the safety. Robinson, the former Georgia Bulldog, out of Germantown High School, Canton, Mississippi. Just never was able to get untracked there with the Bulldogs after suffering a knee injury. His former team winners today in dramatic fashion over Tennessee.
Overtime.
2nd down and goal. Timeout's going to be called by Georgia State. So that'll leave the, oh, it's not a timeout. It's the 2-minute timeout. The official 2-minute timeout. So we do have a timeout, but not called by a team. It's the 2-minute timeout. 16-7. Spectacular night so far for Ted Hurst. 6 catches, 98 yards, 9 targets. They've done a good job from the get-go. Very first play of having Ted Hurst involved. And now the Panthers have it 2nd down and goal from the 4.5 with 2 minutes to play here in the first half.
We've seen him catch him in an assortment of ways, too.
Play action. Ball popped up into the air and intercepted at the goal line. 2nd interception as the ball was plucked out of the air by Pons. His 2nd pick of the night.
Somebody got a hand up, I think, and got a hand on that ball. You can see who it was.
Wow, Panthers missed a golden opportunity right there to score a touchdown. Let's see if we can see who got the hand on it. Yeah, hard to tell right there, but wow. Pons was there for the easy pick. And Murray State will take over at the 4-yard line.
It's 91 right there. Does the hand go up? No, hand right in front of him. That 90, was that Cameron Daniels?
Okay, here's the reverse angle right there. And yeah, it was 90.
Yep.
Cameron Daniels, young man from Collins Hill in Gwinnett County. Handoff goes to Northington. He gets stuck right there at the line of scrimmage, nowhere to go.
Another one of those programs that Coach Wright said he likes to recruit.
2 turnovers now for Georgia State.
You hate to see that opportunity get by the board when you have a completion to Hurst that gets you down inside the red zone, and you want to finish it before you go into the locker room here. But what you don't want to do with 1:51 to play until halftime is allow points to be scored against you before you go into the locker room.
Well, the Panthers are trying to get the ball back. They do not want Murray State to just run out the clock here, so they burn a timeout on the 2nd and 11, trying to force them to punt out of the end zone. All in all, you got to figure that Coach Wright's got to be happy with what he's seen from his team in the first half, getting a couple of interceptions. Finley had 1 interception last week. That ended up being the pick 6 against Memphis. He's thrown 2 here tonight already in the first half. 2nd down and 11. Ball goes out on the edge to Desjardins. 1st down and more for Desjardins. That gets him out of trouble right now.
Now you can do some different things offensively, or attempt to do some different things offensively. You got some working room. You still got time with 1:45 till halftime.
20-yard pickup. 1st and 10. Ball sitting on the 23. Handoff goes to Washington. Fumble! Washington pops out again, and the Panthers have it inside the 5. Josiah Robinson ends up falling on top of that loose ball. Panthers have it back. 3rd turnover of the night, and the 1st on the Racers.
Robinson's having a game. Let's see who knocked it out.
Marlon Dean was the linebacker who reached in there and stripped the ball out. So Dean comes up with the forced fumble, and Robinson comes up with the fumble recovery, and the Panthers right back down there where they were before. 1st and goal to go. Handoff goes to Amos. Cuts inside and tries to wiggle his way through the massive humanity and down to the 1.5.
They brought the tight end in as a blocking back in front on that play.
That's Wadle. who's the third team tight end, lining him up at fullback. 85 yards rushing for the Panthers. Second down and goal. Amos pulls his way towards the end zone, gets in for the touchdown. Rashad Amos scores the touchdown.
Matt, that's sheer determination. Takes 2-3 defenders into the end zone with him. That's Rousey that makes first contact.
First career rushing touchdown for Amos in a Panthers uniform, and the Panthers have a 22-7 lead. McAllister taking the kick right here. Puts it up and in. Georgia State now with a 2-touchdown lead, 23-7 on Murray State with under a minute to play in the half.
That's a change of events for the Panthers. We had that interception down near the goal line to get the ball back and then get points.
Yeah, flurry of turnovers right there. And the Panthers ended up coming out on top in the scoring column. 9 points for Georgia State in the last 3:02 on the clock to open up a 16-point lead. Amos 7 carries, 26 yards, and that 1-yard touchdown run just a moment ago. His first in a Panthers uniform. Richmond and Washington. Not the cities, but the players standing deep for Murray State. Bring the ball out to the 25-yard line. You didn't laugh at my joke. Come on, Sam, you help me out here.
I got that one.
You didn't laugh, though. It's probably because it wasn't funny. I got you. So 1st and 10, ball at the 25-yard line for Murray State. Panthers with 24 points on the board here. Reminded that they got 23 points on the board here right now. Reminded that they scored 24 when they last played in 2011. Desjardins make the catch.
That's Deuce Fillmore with the hit.
4th catch for Lucas Desjardins tonight, the graduate out of Houston in St. John's High School. Second down. Ogle fires, complete. First down, Desjardins making the catch again up to the 37. Stops the clock with 38 seconds to play in the half. You know, we have not seen Chom's Gine on the line. They do not put out injury or sickness reports for non-conference games. But Fillmore has been out there, started in his place. Gine has been the starter of the first 2 games, so did not get any kind of indication that he was going to be out. But Coach McGee said that they did have a bunch of injuries and sickness on the team this week. So timeout call. Coming up at the half, we have the extra yard for teachers. A look around the Sun Belt Conference. Old Dominion has a 21-0 lead on Virginia Tech right now. And we'll have stats and highlights as well. Got some interesting scores going on. .26 seconds and second down and 7 coming up from the 40.
Got Giants standing on a bench on the sideline, not dressed, but he got his jersey on.
And they had some injuries. Like I said, there is no injury report for non-conference games. And that'll be a new thing for the Sun Belt this year. So when the Panthers line up and play against James Madison, first Saturday of October, there'll be an injury report. Second down. Ogle sprint out to the right, looking downfield and throwing, and caught right there at the 48-yard line. That'll be a first down as the ball goes to Northington.
Here's Northington show you can get out of the backfield. And look at that left foot.
Let's see, they have not yet signaled first down. Now it is a first down. They just slowed getting the chains moved. Spotting the ball at the 49. So first and 10, 19 seconds to play in the half. Murray State trying to get downfield and get a late score here before they head to the locker room. Ogle going up top and cannot be caught. That was Bullock, the target, at the 20-yard line. Bernard Causey, who had a really good game against Memphis last week, was on the coverage.
Bullock not able to bring that one in.
Second down and 10, ball at the 50-yard line. Ogle scrambles out of the pressure, runs to the sideline, gets out of bounds at the 44 with 8 seconds left in the half.
Panthers brought the pressure that time. Pocket folded. Ogle did the only thing that he could do.
Got a wild one going on in Statesboro. Georgia Southern leading Jacksonville State 31-23 late in the first half. Murray State will be playing at Jacksonville State next week, former OVC rivals. Timeout called with 8 seconds.
Georgia Southern's just glad to be away from the West Coast.
Rough start for those guys, losing at Fresno State and then USC. Third down and 5 with a timeout called. Probably don't have much of an opportunity right here with 8 seconds to play in the half to get the ball downfield and call a timeout, get the field goal unit on. So they might just be heaving for the end zone right here.
Once again, though, if you're the Panthers, you're trying to keep the team out of the end zone. This last 4 minutes before halftime. Remember what happened last week? We had a little clap of the hand.
Yep.
5 yards closer. A 55-yard field goal.
In the first conference game of the season at halftime in Hattiesburg, Southern Miss leading App State 17-7.
Wondered how things were going to develop down at Southern Miss with the coaching change.
I think well. Coach Huff's a good coach. He proved that at Marshall. He'll prove that at Southern Miss, in my humble opinion. Third down and 5. Maybe the final play of the half right here. 8 seconds to play in the half. Now a timeout called by Georgia State as the two teams swap timeouts. It's kind of like a basketball play right here where Southern Miss called a timeout, or Murray State called a timeout to set up their offense. They come out to inbounds the ball, and Georgia State on defense looks at what they're going to do, and they call a timeout.
Look at Coach Wright.
Yeah, he said when they first got there, they were a bad version of a D3 team. So they made great strides. He's flipped the roster over. 109 players on the roster this year, 80 newcomers. 54 of the newcomers are freshmen.
And we talked about how he likes to recruit successful programs, places like Hoover, Alabama.
and only 2 returning starters as we're down to maybe our final play of the half right here, unless we have another timeout. 3rd down. Ogle being flushed out of the pocket, throws, long throw to the sideline. Desjardins makes the catch with 3 seconds, and let's see if they reach for a long field goal here. This will be about a 50-yarder. Good job of managing the clock. Good job by Ogle to get that ball to Desjardins on the sideline, who's had a heck of a game so far. Desjardins has as many catches, or almost as many catches here tonight as he had in the first 2 games of the season. 6 catches for 77. He was 7 for 82 in the first 2 games, and this is a 51-yard kick by Tannehill. And a timeout called by, no, a flag's going to be dropped.
Timeout. Georgia State. 3rd and final timeout. 30 seconds.
So no penalty on the play, just a timeout call by Georgia State. And you alluded to it, Sam, last week. Memphis lined up for a 60-yard field goal, and the Panthers got called for a rare defensive delay of game. What happened was Josiah Robinson was trying to direct his teammates to get in the right position for the kick and clapped his hand trying to get their attention. But that was called a penalty on Georgia State for the clap right before the snap of the ball. And that moved the kick 5 yards closer, and it became a 55-yard make.
And you got a veteran kicker here.
O'Hara, the punter, is the holder. Caleb Matthews, the graduate, is the long snapper. And Tannehill is trying a 51-yard kick. Snap is down, kick is on its way, and it is going to be off the mark, no good. So Murray State does a good job to get in field goal position, but can't convert on the 51-yarder. And the score remains 23-7, Sam, as the teams head to the locker room.
Great first half for the Panthers. Found some ways to get into the end zone. And some good things for Murray, too.
Halftime coming up in Atlanta. halftime in Atlanta, Georgia State on top of Murray State, 23-7. The College Football Playoff Foundation and ESPN Citizenship supports educators in communities across the country during each postseason game by donating $1,000 to teachers and coaches every time a touchdown is scored to use towards health, sports, and fitness resources. Let's hear from some current Georgia State players and Sun Belt coaches with memories about their favorite teachers.
Coach Bell back in high school, he was my O-line coach. He kind of took me in and kind of, boosted my confidence, kind of paved the way for me.
I would like to send a big thank you to Tara Ocampo, my principal at Atlantic Community High School. I love you very much.
It's probably my math teacher when I was in grade 11, Mr. Mitchell. I was like a smart kid, but, we often get in trouble because we were doing good in class and all that stuff, but he was the one that kind of told me, I got to take advantage of, my intelligence and stuff like that. And, he kind of was the one that kind of kept pushing me and stuff. And so kind of instilled into me to, keep pushing for the things that I want in life. So I would say that's the one.
Teachers, we appreciate you.
Nobody does the job you all do. Every day you make or break a young person's life.
Thank you, Ms. Ocampo, my high school principal.
I want to say thank you to Ms. Bowers.
Michael Huffman, my head football coach.
Thank you, Ms. Beasley.
Thank you, Mr. Smith.
Keep up the hard work and appreciate everything you do.
Thank you, Mrs. Hampton, my 4th grade teacher.
It's very important that you understand just how special you are and how impactful you are.
Every day.
Every day. Every day.
Every day is game day for teachers.
Till the sun comes up. Keep your head to the sky until the sun comes up.
In collegiate sports, one name continues to rise.
Now is the time where we go hard, moving up. Deep in the zone, keep it moving cause we're coming up. Now is the time where we go hard, moving up. Deep in the zone, keep it moving cause we're coming up.
The Sun Belt Conference, 14 universities, 10 states, rising.
We're gonna hold it down till the sun comes up.
Welcome back. It's halftime in Atlanta. Georgia State on top of Murray State, 23-7. Matt Stewart along with Sam Crenshaw. Sam, let's take a look at the first half highlights as the Panthers jumped out to a 14-0 lead in the first quarter.
Yes, they did. Things went well for them defensively. And then Branson Robinson.
Big 46-yard run here by Robinson set up the Panthers' first touchdown of the night, which was Finley's 1-yard pass to Ted Hurst. And then Cam Brown got in there, and he goes up top to Ted Hurst inside the 10-yard line. And then Brown goes to Leo Blackburn in the back of the end zone. 2-touchdown lead for Georgia State.
Racers not done.
Northington had a big run right there to cap their touchdown drive. But then the fumble by Washington deep in their own end after the Panthers had picked up the safety, and Amos takes it in from 1 yard out, and the 23-7 lead for the Panthers. That safety, by the way, for the Panthers, first time ever in program history they've had 2 safeties in one season. They've come in back-to-back weeks this year. Sam, what jumps off the page as you take a look at the stats?
Look, the total yards for Georgia State right now, I think that's big at 244. I'm a little more of a balance. You got 89 yards. You want to get more in your running game, and that's something that Coach McGee wanted to see more for his team. So great to see that, and some third down conversions. That's big as well.
It's halftime in Atlanta. Georgia State with a 16-point lead. 23-7, Georgia State as we continue with halftime here in Atlanta. Let's take a look at news around the Sun Belt Conference on this Saturday night. Missouri, a rout of Louisiana, 52-10. Memphis beat Troy, same Memphis team that came in here and beat Georgia State last Saturday. Auburn over South Alabama, 31-15. Arkansas State was hosting number 14 Iowa State there in Jonesboro. Cyclones pull out a 24-16 win over the Red Wolves. But here's the big story right now at halftime in Blacksburg. Old Dominion, Sam, is laying it on Virginia Tech.
That's hard to believe. That's hard to believe. I mean, the Virginia Tech program trying to make a comeback, trying to revive things, but ODU seems to be taking advantage of them right now.
Taking them to the woodshed right now. Halftime in Statesboro. Georgia Southern leading Jacksonville State 31-24. Halftime, actually second quarter still in Conway, East Carolina, 10-0 lead on Coastal. And in the first conference game of the 2025 season, Southern Miss with a 17-7 lead on App State in Hattiesburg. Big news for the Sun Belt. Two teams in Week 4 have been elevated to ESPNU games for next Saturday, September 20th, starting with James Madison at Liberty. And that'll be a 3:30 Eastern time kick for the first matchup between the Flames and the Dukes since 2014, back when both teams were still FCS. And Georgia State, the Panthers rematch with Vanderbilt. Of course, Panthers beat the Commodores here in Atlanta 36-32 last year. Big night for Ted Hurston, including the game-winning touchdown. The game between the Panthers and the Commodores will also be on ESPNU next Saturday night at 7:30 Eastern time. It's halftime here in Atlanta, 16-point lead for the Panthers. Start of the second half here in Atlanta. Georgia State leading Murray State 23-7. Racers will get the ball first to start the third quarter. Take a look at the quarterback comparison for the Panthers. It's been mostly TJ Finley tonight. Cam Brown did get a series and led the Panthers to a touchdown.
Yep, seen that. And Brown made the most of his opportunity. And he just gives them a change of pace when he comes in. But it seems like we really want to try to get some more consistency with TJ Finley settling in as a starter.
And for the Racers, Jim Ogle, pretty good first half, 15 of 22 for 124. As McAllister has it set to kick off. Murray State, their last 3 possessions, gave up a safety, turned the ball over on a fumble, and make that a 51-yard missed field goal attempt right there at the end of the half. McAllister makes it non-returnable, so the Racers will bring it out to the 25-yard line to begin this third quarter. And there's the Ogle, 15 of 22, 124 for Ogle. Done a pretty good job here tonight for the Racers, especially considering he was in concussion protocol. When we talked to Coach Wright on Thursday, they were not yet sure whether Ogle would be able to start here tonight. Now, he is the son of the co-offensive coordinator and running back coach Jimmy Ogle. Started his career at ULM, actually committed to Troy coming out of high school, but out of Jacksonville High School in Alabama. And when Coach Sumrall went to Tulane, he instead ended up going to ULM. And now here with his dad at Murray State. That was Northington on the carry to start the third quarter. 10 carries right at 50 yards for Northington tonight. They're going to run a reverse. And Jalen Richard gets dropped for the TFL.
Ian Matthews wasn't fooled by that at all. In the right place. Ready to make the TFL. Here he is.
Ian Matthews battled through a torn labrum last year, hoping to finish his career strong. Fifth-year senior out of Pacelli down in the Columbus area. Coach Dale McGee, of course, from that area, was very familiar with him. Played at Missouri and LSU before landing at Hutch Community College. Ogle scrambling out to his right. Flag comes down, likely a hold. Going to be the call here on Murray State. I see Peroni getting up. It looked like he had a takedown. Looked like Peroni had a good takedown move if we were wrestling, but instead we're playing football.
Not supposed to do that, Matt.
Holding offense number 62. Penalties decline.
There you go.
Fourth down.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. That's a complete takedown.
And then he pinned him.
The takedown is one thing, but the pin is something else.
That would have been great at Marietta High School. So punting situation here. Murray State goes 3 and out to begin this third quarter. Panthers should get the ball back in good field goal position, or good field position, I should say. Javon Robinson, line drive kick, has to retreat. This is returnable. Bobbled the ball. It's still there, and the Racers on top of it inside the 25-yard line.
What a break for Murray.
Cooper Ford, I believe, was the young man who recovered that loose ball. 53-yard punt from O'Hara. And another turnover for Georgia State. Their third of the night.
Another look at it. Boy, just hit him on the hands and got away from it.
So I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he was the snapper on that play. Caleb Matthews is listed as a snapper, but I believe Cooper Ford was the snapper on that play. And a lot of times the snapper gets downfield before anybody else because they don't get touched coming off the line. And he was there to recover that fumble.
Got the Racers offense back in business.
So 1st and 10 for Murray State. Ball sitting on the 21. See if they can cash in right here, take advantage of that mistake by the Panthers. Ogle going to take a big loss.
And he's back.
The Icy Hopkins, who was listed as questionable at halftime with his injury, is right back in there to start this 3rd quarter.
It looked like he's got no problems here. Mr. Hopkins there for the stop.
7-yard loss on the play. It's very rare that you get the news that a player is questionable and then they come back in. Usually when they go as far as to say he's questionable, they're not coming back in. But Hopkins is there to make a big 7-yard sack. 2nd down. Ogle throwing off his back foot, up for grabs and tipped out of bounds. Trying to go to Desjardins, his top receiver here tonight.
Got 2 defenders on the play there, Jordan Huff and Deuce Fillmore. Both there for Georgia State.
Wondering if Cannon is hurt. We haven't seen him in a while. Well, he's coming back on the field right now as I say that. So 3rd down and 17. Line to gain is the 11. Tyrell Campbell in the game at running back for the first time tonight. He's been in here on this series ever since they recovered that fumble. And now a timeout has been called on the field. And we'll step aside with a big 3rd down coming up. Third and 17 coming up from Murray State out of the timeout. Got to reach the 11. Are we doing the tomahawk chop?
No, that's what the Panther call.
The claw?
The claw. Okay. There we go.
Looks very similar to the tomahawk chop.
Let's say the tomahawk.
They used to do that here, you know, quite regularly.
In this building, yes.
Yes, that's the building, the one that we're in right now. That's the one I'm talking about, Sam. Third down and 17. Handoff goes to Campbell. Campbell with a big run. Panthers were anticipating the pass. And Campbell all the way down to the 15-yard line brings up 4th down and 4.
Big run before Bernard Carsley comes over there and makes a big hit to stop him.
13-yard pickup, so let's see what they're going to do here. They're going to bring the field goal unit on. Kind of surprised that's what they're going to do, but that looks like that's what they're going to do right here. Going to try to get 3 out of all this. And Tannehill's on for a 33-yard kick from the right hash. Kick is on its way, and it's going to be no good. Did not hook for him. He needed that thing to hook inside the upright, and it stayed straight. And Murray State comes up empty. 23-7, Panthers on offense when we get back. Murray State trying to snap an 18-game road losing streak. It dates back to the 2021 season before Coach Wright even got there. And they haven't won since a year and a day ago when they beat Mississippi Valley State on September 14th, 2024. I guess that's actually not 366, but 364, right?
Would be.
So not quite a year. Tomorrow makes a year. They've lost 11 in a row. They're 1-13 since Coach Wright took over, and they come up empty there on the missed field goal. 23-7, Panthers go back on offense, and Finley's still in there quarterback. Pass is going to be thrown complete out here up to the 35-yard line, and nearly broke one right there. That was Dennis Murray in there at running back. First time we've seen him, I think, the entire season, right?
Believe so.
Didn't get a carry last week against Memphis on the slant route. Overton across the 50 and down to the 49. 15-yard pickup, so a couple of back-to-back plays that nearly went the distance. Here's Murray to the sideline, and Murray all the way down to the 27, and a flag out. Dennis Murray, if you're wondering, his second year in the program, redshirt freshman out of Daytona Beach and Mainland High School down in Florida. This run's coming back. Holding call on the Panthers.
Holding offense during the run, number 5. It's a 10-yard foul. 10-yard penalty.
So that's going to be on the wide receiver, Javon Robinson. We were looking at the offensive line. They were not the offenders.
Nope.
Over on the far angle shot, there's Robinson, number 5, with the hold right there as Murray was running by him. Right there, there's the hold. Holding Rousey. So backs it up to the 48-yard line. And Finley loads up and wants to go long. And in and out of the hands inside the 10-yard line. And that was Avery. DJ Avery targeted right there, the freshman out of Chattahoochee High School here in the Atlanta area. So the Panthers getting a little bit deeper on the depth chart here with the 23-7 lead.
And number 1, Brian Pulley there on the stop, defending that play.
So Panthers taking a look at some players here that typically don't get a lot of snaps. Pulley pulls down the seatbelt. Second down. Toss goes to Braswell. Braswell wrapped up at the 50-yard line and stopped right there by Jaden Walker. So 3rd down and 10. Panthers, 23 points in the first half. Scored the 9 points in the second quarter with only 2 first downs. Finley out of the shotgun, loading up again, going deep, and Hurst can't run under it inside the 5. 4th down.
Once again, Finley had time. O-line is giving him some protection, giving him some time to get the ball out there, just can't make the connection.
So yeah, Panthers move it out to the 49-yard line and then stall. And so Reed Chanley's on to punt, standing at his 37. Darius Cannon deep for the Racers back at the 9. Line drive kick. And Cannon's going to let it go over his head. It checks up at the 2, bounces backwards, and the Panthers on top of it at the 6. DJ Riles got down there on the punt coverage, and there's a flag down on the field as well. A great punt there by Chanley. It's going to get erased. Penalty is going to be on Georgia State. And they will no doubt.
Offense, number 4, field. 5-yard penalty. Play it down.
They will no doubt make the Panthers punt again. So we'll see if Chanley can do that again, have it check up at the 2.
I don't know if you can have that one again.
Chanley gets it out of there. Cannon, fair catch at the 11. So the Racers get a little bit better field position out of it. And Murray State will go back on offense inside their own 15-yard line. Ogle has gone the distance for Murray State. His backup is Baxter Wright, who was the quarterback for Gainesville in 2022. And they lost to Langston Hughes here in this building in the state championship game. But he has not seen any snaps here tonight.
Eli, step. Eli, step. Back up.
Pass, Desjardins broken up. Jalen Jones there on the coverage, along with Causey.
Boy, Desjardins took a hit between 2 defenders right there, but he bounced back up.
6 catches, 71 yards for Desjardins here tonight. That was a hot pass up high see Jones there on the coverage. Second down and 10 for the Racers. Their offense has kind of gotten stagnant here. Ball goes to Cannon on the slant. That'll be a first down.
Cannon continues to be productive.
Yeah, 6th catch of the night for Cannon.
Hit the transfer portal out of Kentucky.
Yep. As we mentioned already, he was a star with Baxter Wright at Gainesville when they got to the state finals back in 2022. Handoff goes to Campbell again. I talked to Cannon down on the field prior to the game, and he said, if we only had one more quarter, I feel like we could have won that game. Played one of the greatest teams in Georgia high school football history, Langston Hughes, that set the state scoring record that year.
Right.
They ended up playing the Panthers closer than anybody else did that season.
It was a fantastic game.
Second down and 7. Campbell gets the handoff, and Campbell up to the 29-yard line. Brings up third down.
Deuce Walker in on the stop. That play. Let's look at number 7.
Campbell, a local kid, kind of. He's out of London, Ontario, but he played his high school ball up in the mountains at Rabun Gap, Nakuchi. Rabun Gap is a boarding school. They attract a lot of international players or players from Canada who want to come to the United States and play the game of American football.
They get quite a few really talented players up there.
They do. Third down and 3. Ogle on the slant. Cannon can't come up with it. It's going to be fourth down.
Like Matthews may have gotten a hand on that too. Let's take a look. Watch for 11.
Yep, he did. That's why Cannon couldn't get it, because Matthews knocked it down. Robinson going to go out there to field this punt. Ogle 1 of 4 for just 9 yards here in the third quarter. O'Hara booms it out of there. Man, he's got a cannon for a leg. It's going to be fielded by Robinson at the 23. 48-yard kick by O'Hara.
Showing you why he's preseason all-conference, I think, honorable mention. Showing you why.
He's a guy that in this day of college football free agency could be a very valuable commodity. He's had a good night. 23-7 Panthers on offense when we get back. TJ Finley, 11 of 18 passing for 150 yards and a touchdown, couple of interceptions, and now Cam Brown coming in for his second series of the game. Brown just 2 of 3, 36 yards, but did throw that touchdown pass to Leo Blackburn. So he's back out there. Been impressed with Cam Brown when we've seen him play the last couple of weeks. Going to sprint out and throw, and it is complete again to Blackburn at the 34-yard line.
Brown to me brings something different. I mean, he rolls out, they roll the pocket with him, and you got to respect the fact that he can tuck it and run.
Ike Malati played at Northside Warner Robins High School down in Middle Georgia. Going to run it here and get dragged down from behind by Kobe Roberts at the 35-yard line, short gain.
Kobe Roberts stayed home, and he's watching for that. Right back up on the ball.
That's his numbers so far tonight in limited playing time. Handoff goes Branson Robinson. And Robinson crosses the 35 down to the 38-yard line. Abdur Rahim making the tackle. Not Sharif. Third down. You haven't laughed at any of my jokes tonight, Stan. I'm cutting you off. No more jokes for you. Cam Brown sprinting out to the right and throwing. It's complete to Ted Hurst for the first down.
Nice play by Brown to just extend the play a little bit, giving Hurst time. He throws it through the window.
7th catch of the game for Hurst. That puts him over 100 yards receiving tonight. Run around the end. Cam Brown picks up the first down. This is what Cam Brown does. And Finley's got some pretty good legs, but Cam Brown takes it to another level with his ability to run the ball.
Allowing this offense to go up tempo. They're right back up on the ball.
Like I said, played at Northside Warner Robins. Then he starred at your alma mater, West Georgia, before trying the big time, so to speak. Went out to the Big 12 Conference and played at Texas Tech. Never really got on the field there. Came back to his home state to play for the Panthers. And he's going to be in the mix the entire season. Brown trying to get around the edge. We're going to have a holding call on the Panthers.
Yep, it's going to be on 69 McCrimmon.
Holding, number 69, offense. 10-yard penalty, replay first down.
But Sam, what I think we've seen here the last couple of weeks against Memphis and tonight against Murray State is what we're going to see from this offense in every game from here on out, with Finley starting and Cam Brown getting significant sub-in time.
Like I said, Brown brings a little different, something different offensively, the threat of running.
You might say, what can Brown do for you?
Well, look at this. Got a whistle.
Mixing it up a little bit, doing direct snap.
False start. Offense, number 54, snap infraction.
That was Dennis Murray.
Yep, they're going to direct snap the ball to Murray right there. Just mix it up a little bit. Tyler Williams, who started at center here tonight in place of the ailing Alec Johnson, got his war paint on. Young man who played at Milton High School, part of their state championship teams. Not the most recent, but the first one.
Got Robinson back in at running back.
Branson's had his best game so far as a Panther. Gonna dump it off for Robinson. Branson Robinson spins and comes down at the 47. Well short of the first down. But Branson Robinson, 7 carries for 64 yards tonight, rushing the ball. 47 of it came on one run. That set up the Panthers' first touchdown. That was his third catch of the game as well. 2nd down and 20. Brown right across the middle to Hurst. And Ted Hurst knocked down inside the 20-yard line. Big game for Ted Hurst here tonight.
Cam Brown taking his time. And there's Hurst.
37-yard pickup. Now has 143 yards receiving tonight. Robinson on the carry, gets dragged down by Abdur Rahim. Short gain. Panthers have actually run 3 fewer plays than Murray State tonight. But a 2-touchdown lead on the scoreboard. Brown up top, and it is intercepted or broken up. Was he in the end zone?
Official signals touchdown.
How did that happen? Because Esplin was the one who came up with the ball at the end of that play. Still got it in his hands. I got to see that again. I thought Esplin came up with the interception, but they call a touchdown for the Panthers and Javon Robinson. So what did happen here? So, yeah, Robinson's got it.
And Esplin pulls it out after they hit the ground. If they hit the ground, he pulls it out.
So the question's going to be, I don't think that's going to be a catch. I don't think Robinson has control of this. So watch it closely. Does not have control of it right there. That's going to be an incompletion, if anything. Because I think by the time Esplin comes down with it,
out of bounds.
It's out of bounds. So it's going to go down as an incompletion. That's my official
there we go.
Diagnosis of the play.
They're going to take a look at it anyway.
So right now with the call on the field, the Panthers take a 29-7 lead, but my guess is this play's going to come back. So Robinson never has control of the ball right there, has one hand on it, doesn't have both hands on that ball. I'm going to think that they're going to rule that he never had control. And then Esplin comes up with the interception, but he doesn't have control of it either with his feet in bounds. Old Dominion 31-6 lead at Virginia Tech in the third quarter.
Wow.
What a game, what a night for Ricky Ronnie and his team. That's huge for Old Dominion there in the state of Virginia to be able to go into Blacksburg and whip some fanny like that.
I mean, not just win the game.
Yeah.
Go in there and dominate. They still do Enter Sandman before the team runs out.
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
Doesn't have the same effect.
No, Sandman put them to sleep before they got on the field.
Yeah, really.
They have been waylaid by the Monarchs tonight.
After video review, the pass is incomplete. Will be third down.
So it'll be third down now for the Panthers at the 16-yard line. The officials, as they almost always seem to do, get it right.
But they have a review. That's why they have it. So instead of 6 points, we have third down.
Line to gain is the 7. So the score goes back to 23-7. Jacksonville State has taken a 33-31 lead on Georgia Southern in the third quarter in Statesboro. Southern Miss has opened up a 24-13 lead on App. That's also in the third quarter. 3rd down and 9. Cam Brown, clean pocket, fires for the end zone and caught in front of the end zone by Hurst. Battles for the end zone and scores. Ted Hurst, with a great effort, scores his 2nd touchdown of the night. 16 yards on the 3rd down pass completion, and now it really is 29-7.
Take a look at the effort by Hurst, who makes the catch, has defenders on him, shakes one, here's 2 more, simply will not be denied.
So with that catch, Ted Hurst now up to 159 yards receiving in the game. Just a big breakout game for Ted Hurst here tonight. 10 plays, 76 yards for the Panthers. Close to 5 minutes off the clock. McAllister, PAT, up and good. Panthers lead it 30-7. Great effort here by Hurst. Catches the ball at the 4 and battles through 3 Racers defenders to get into the end zone.
Brian Pulley is right there. Can't bring him down.
Well, you saw Esplin right there at the end. He was trying to strip Hurst of the ball. Hurst approaching a career-high night. 173, and he gets to wear the touchdown chain. 17.7 yards per catch average with 9 total receptions for Hurst here this evening. Panthers have remedied the problem. He had only 1 target in that Ole Miss game, and they've opened each of the last 2 games throwing the ball to Ted Hurst on the very first play. I think Dale McGee got his message across. We're going to make sure Ted Hurst, our all-conference first-team player, touches the ball multiple times. And he's done that here tonight. Been targeted 14 times with 9 catches. And the Racers now down 23 points. Will go on offense at the 25.
It's like we're getting the quarterback change here.
Well, let's see. Yeah, Ogle. Yeah, Baxter Wright, the former Gainesville Red Elephant, takes over at quarterback. As we've noted a number of times, he played here back in 2022 in the state championship game. Baxter Wright going to run up to the 34-yard line. The thing I remember about Baxter Wright from that night, I had a chance to call that game on television for Georgia Public Television. The thing I remember about Baxter Wright was he was one tough son of a gun. And to show you how tough he was, when he got to Murray State originally, they had him playing linebacker.
Whoa.
I told you, he's a tough kid. Run by Campbell, out close to the midfield stripe. 18-yard pickup for Campbell. Interesting, Campbell's carried the load here in the 3rd quarter.
Yes.
Haven't seen as much of Northington or Washington here since halftime. Wright gonna run it, and he will accommodate that play call all night long. Played for Coach Niblett there at Gainesville. Second down. Wright gonna run it again. He's not bashful about contact. He's going to come out, and Ogle's going to come in. So it might have been just some kind of an equipment issue or something for Ogle, who checks back into the game on 3rd down, 3rd and 7. But good to see Wright get in here and get some snaps back in his home state. Ogle up top to the sideline, incomplete.
Got a flag here.
First time the ball has gone towards L.J. Green tonight. He's another Atlanta area kid, played for the Heard County Braves. I don't know, do we call Heard County Atlanta area?
We can.
It's closer to Atlanta than Murray, Kentucky is.
They got a big win last night.
They did. They beat Bowden.
Beat Bowden.
I've got them number 1 in my ranking.
And all Bowden does is win
Pass
state
interference,
championships.
defense. Number 2, 15 yards free. First down.
So penalty going against the Panthers here on the pass interference call. And you can see Fillmore was locked up right there on the receiver. Campbell gets bent backwards.
And that's why Jartavius Flournoy, big fella in the middle.
Played his high school ball way down in Moultrie, Georgia. Colquitt County Packers, a big kid, 6'1", 324 freshman. Final minute of the third quarter. Ogle, pass incomplete. Looking for Green again.
Boy, watch out there. Curry hits his own man, hit Fillmore. Looks like everybody's okay.
Northington was back in the game on that snap. We got some friendly fire right here. Third down and 10. Northington gets the handoff. He gets cut down at the 24-yard line by Robinson. Robinson with 8 tackles tonight. That's his 4th solo tackle. Also has a TFL. It's 4th down. I was surprised earlier in this half when Murray tried a field goal attempt. Looks like here they're going to let the clock run out in the third quarter before they decide what they're going to do. That is the end of the third quarter here in Atlanta. Panthers looking for their first win of the season. They lead Murray 30-7 as we head to the fourth quarter. Game summaries. We head to the fourth. Northington, the leading rusher for the Racers. Ogle, 16 of 27. Two Panthers quarterbacks combined for 262 and 3 touchdowns. Ted Hurst having a big game. 9 catches, 159. Racers on offense as we start the final period on fourth down. Throws incomplete there in the middle. And let's see, do we have a penalty? We do. So hold the phone just yet as to whether the ball goes over on downs.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense, number 9. Half the distance to the goal, automatic. Fuck down.
So the Racers will retain possession after the penalty on the Panthers on fourth down.
Here's another look at it.
Yep, that is indeed roughing the passer. Getting there late and knocking him down. They'll call that every time.
Penalty yards are stacking up for Georgia State tonight.
That was Marlon Dean, the linebacker, called for the infraction. Handoff goes to Northington. Gets cut down by Deuce Walker.
Panthers over 100 yards in penalties. So even though they're leading in this game, I can imagine something they will hear a lot from Coach McGee about.
There's always something to clean up. Doesn't sting quite as much, though, if you get the dub, which the Panthers look like they have a strong possibility of getting tonight. Northington with the big run inside the 10-yard line, down to the 7. And he has run hard tonight. Been impressed with Jawan Northington as you take a look at the Panthers' next 5 games at Vanderbilt next Saturday night on ESPNU. Then the next home game is the conference opener, and that'll be on October 4th after an off day. So 2 Saturdays from now. Actually, 3 Saturdays from now against James Madison. Third down. And Northington got knocked forward, and he's going to be close to the first down. I think it was Peroni who came in there and belted him, knocking him forward to get close to the first down yardage.
This offensive line of Murray State has shown you a lot tonight. They've shown you a lot of fight.
.134 in the air, 98 on the ground for the Racers. It's fourth down and 2. This will be the 3rd time they've gone for it on fourth down tonight. They've yet to convert. Ogle going to throw it. Touchdown, Racers. Desjardins with the catch in the back of the end zone to make it 30-13. What a night for Lucas Desjardins. 7th catch of the night to match his total from the first 2 games of the season. 7 for 75 and a touchdown catch right there from Ogle. I'm guessing they'll go for 2 right here. I'd be surprised if they don't.
Excellent call, well executed.
They keep the offense out there to go for 2. Ogle rolling, looking to the corner of the end zone. Everybody covered, tried to squeeze it in there to Green, and he got it. 2-point conversion for the Racers. Green was able to go down and keep that thing from hitting the ground, and it's 30-15.
Another look.
Tight space and a great job by Green to keep that thing from hitting out of bounds. Murray State not done yet. taking a look at this two-point conversion to see if it's going to stand.
There's a knee. He got a knee down, inbounds.
He did, but the question is, did he keep the ball from hitting the ground? They're taking a look at it right now. I don't really know. I've looked at it a couple of times now, so I'm not really sure. So the official just made the announcement, but I didn't hear what he said. I think they're gonna take, they're taking the points off the board. They've gotten really persnickety about that. And going back to the first game of the season, the LSU game on national television, there was a controversial call about a catch, no catch in the end zone. And all season long, they've been really tight about those calls. That, if you told me that was a catch, I probably would have said, yep, it was a catch. But if you tell me it's not a catch, I said, yeah, I can see that too. So they take the points off the board. It's 30-13. So kick's going to be taken at the 4 by Peyton. TJ Payton up across the 30-yard line. No questioning about the catches made by Ted Hurst tonight. He's got 9 of them for over 150 yards.
And how do you want to see him? Back, shoulder. He's shown us a variety tonight.
159 receiving yards for Ted Hurst. It's the 12th best single game total in Georgia State history. Jamari Thrash set the record back in 2022 with a 213 game. Don't know that Ted's going to get there tonight, but he's had a big night tonight. He's close to his career high, which is 173. And they go right back to him running the screen. And if he breaks one, he might get close to Jamari Thrash, but that's a nice first down catch right there. 10 catches now for Ted Hurst.
He's the inspiration for guys who think they belong at a certain level, end up having to start out at a different level, coming from Division II Valdosta State. He came here last year, and he really put on a great show. Matter of fact, some people thought he might have moved on, but he decided to come back and stay here at Georgia State.
Yeah, the word was he went in the transfer portal. I guess there's some debate as to whether he actually did go in the transfer portal. Run by Amos. But word got out that he was in the transfer portal. I don't know whether he tweeted it or not. And the bottom line is, whether he did or he didn't, he ended up staying.
But to me, he's a great example in this day and age of the portal, especially for those youngsters who think they want to be at a certain level, and that certain level doesn't give you the opportunity.
Start at Jenkins High School down in Savannah, down along the coast. 2nd down and 3. Amos on the run. Rashad Amos, first down run for him. Running behind Blackburn and pushing Blackburn in the back.
Come on, number 3.
Yeah, Rashad's like,
give me a block. Give me a block.
Block or get out of the way. One or the other. Block for me or get out of the way. 18-yard pickup for Amos right there.
Nice work. Let's another look at it. And watch, he's going to run right up behind number 3 and said, come on. Come on. Come over this way. Come over this way.
And Blackburn was blocking for him. He had Marlon Pounds, the cornerback, locked up and pushed him out of the way. Cam Brown goes to the air again. That's a first down catch for the Panthers down to the 20-yard line. And Kyle Washington, who had the first 2 catches of his career last week against Memphis, picks up his first one here tonight. Coach McGee really happy about the development of Washington. Called him a very mature wide receiver with good hands, great route runner, understands the game and spacing. Just a freshman out of the state of Florida. 1st and 10 Panthers at the 22. Braswell gets the carry here tonight on that play right there. Down to the 15-yard line. So that's going to be the 3rd rush attempt for Braswell tonight, as the Panthers have used 5 different running backs. Robinson, Amos, Murray, and Braswell. Actually, so 4 different running backs have run the ball tonight. And both, of course, both running backs have run the ball tonight. Both quarterbacks have run the ball tonight. Braswell on the carry. He's going to get stopped at the 14-yard line. Started his college career at South Carolina, one of 2 former Southeastern Conference. Actually, let me take that back. One of 3 former Southeastern Conference running backs now in the Panthers' backfield. Of course, Amos was too. He was at Ole Miss when he transferred here. Actually, he was at Memphis. He was at Ole Miss, went to Memphis, and didn't like it there, and ends up coming here, all in the same couple of months. Amos right there, down to close to the 12 and close to the first down. Fourth down, Panthers keep the offense on the field. Maybe trying to get a knockout punch right here. Amos, first down, leans forward to the 8. Rousey making the tackle for Murray State. Rousey with 9 tackles tonight gives him 44 in 3 games this season.
We were expecting that from him, but just like Coach Wright was saying, he'd rather not have somebody in the secondary being his leading tackler.
He had no offers coming out of Itawamba Community College. Murray State was his option. Robinson running reverse, and Robinson, actually that's an end around, technically not a reverse. Every time you see a play like that, your inclination is to call it a reverse, but that's an end around. Robinson got hurt on the play.
Yep, he's slow moving, slow getting up here.
So we'll step aside as they tend to Javon Robinson with 7:29 to play in this game. Ted Hurst been flexing tonight. He's now 1 catch away from matching the single game record here, held by 3 different players on 5 different occasions. 10 catches for Hurst tonight. 172, which I believe that's one off his career high as well, I believe. I believe 173 is his career high, so he needs 1 yard for a career high, or to match a career high in yardage in a game. And the 172 he has right now is 9th best, single game 9th best in program history. So they got Javon Robinson off the field. It's 2nd down and goal now from the 3. Overton in motion behind the line. Brown to the air, touchdown to Overton. Cam Overton, 3-yard touchdown reception, makes it 36-13. Cam Brown throws his 2nd touchdown pass of the night.
Nice way to wrap up a good possession and a good drive. Cam Brown at the helm of this team.
3rd passing touchdown of Cam Brown's young Panthers career. Ten plays, 67 yards, 5 minutes off the clock. McAllister PAT. And a 37-13 lead for Georgia State. 24-point lead for Georgia State. Well on their way to getting their first win of the 2025 season here tonight. Here in Atlanta, the Panthers have opened up a 37-13 lead on Murray State. Meantime, in Blacksburg, Old Dominion leading Virginia Tech 45-13.
Unthinkable.
In Hattiesburg, Southern Miss looks like they're going to get the dub tonight in the first conference game of the season. Golden Eagles leading App State 38-14. In Conway, Coastal Carolina being shut out by East Carolina 17-0. And in Statesboro, Georgia Southern, a 41-34 lead on Jacksonville State. Late game tonight, Texas State playing at Arizona State. That's a 10:30 start.
You good, baby?
Next week, the Panthers go to Nashville.
Yeah.
And
7:30
right now,
on ESPNU.
Vanderbilt is up 21-7 on South Carolina. And that doesn't surprise me.
No. You'll remember that the Commodores opened the season last year with a win over Virginia Tech. in Nashville before they came to Atlanta, and that was considered a huge win. And next Saturday night, 7:30 on ESPNU, Panthers taking on Vanderbilt in Nashville. Baxter Wright in there at quarterback and battling for yards. Took a loss on the play. So the Panthers scored 23 points combined in their first 2 games. The losses to Ole Miss and Memphis, they've totaled 37 here tonight. Baxter Wright running for his life. Looks like it's probably the end of the night for Ogle, who goes 17 for 28.
Defense, number 17, 15-yard automatic, first down.
So penalty on the Panthers. That's going to go against Joseph Holt.
Out of Birmingham Parker.
Toss goes to Campbell. And Campbell up to the 30-yard line. Both teams getting a little bit deeper on the depth chart here with the game almost out of reach. 24-point lead for Georgia State with 6.5 minutes to go. Campbell gets the handoff again, and Campbell is going to get close to the first down at the 44. Campbell, who did not play until the second half, now has 7 carries for close to 50 yards. Third down and 1. Campbell again, not going to get the first down as the Panthers stop him at the 45. We'll bring up 4th down. I saw Coach just signal, we're going for it. Racers 0 for 2 on 4th down tonight. Panthers have converted both of those, including a touchdown. Twice. 4th and 1. Campbell gets the rock and gonna move the pile enough to get the first down.
Yeah.
So first 4th down conversion of the night for the Racers as we go under 5 minutes left. First and 10 at the 47. Baxter Wright now in there at quarterback. Pass is thrown complete. Goes to Richmond. Jalen Richmond with the catch and run.
And picks up a first down. Coming out of the game.
Kevin Emanuel now in there at running back for the Racers. First and 10. Wow. Ooh. Wright takes a big hit right there. Caden Atkins, the defensive end, number 34, making the tackle. So some of these guys deeper on the depth chart, man, they're eager to get in there and pop somebody. Getting some first playing time.
He's a true freshman.
Might be the first time he's been on the field here in the first 3 games. I'd have to check the participation chart. Emmanuel with the run down to the 30, but a flag comes out.
personal foul, hands to the face, defense. Yard penalty, automatic, first down.
That's the third time the Panthers have been flagged for that penalty tonight.
Those penalty numbers keep going up. Look at that number. Coach McGee, you're right. They're happy to win. There'll be a whole speech on that.
Yeah, he doesn't look like a guy who's up by 24 points right now. So 1st and 10 for Murray State following the penalty. Ball sitting on the 15 now. Wright throws complete to Richmond inside the 5. Jalen Richmond out of Chandler, Arizona High School, and a 5th-year senior with the catch. He did not get inside the 5. He got down to the 7. 57 catches, 846 the last couple of seasons at Bakersfield Community College after starting his career at Boise State. Under 3 minutes to go, 2nd down and 2. Campbell, 1st down run inside the 5 and down to the 3. Just looking at that bio information on Richmond reminds me what the transfer portal has done is it's opened up the whole country. So you see guys who start their career at Boise and then they're at Bakersfield and now they're at Murray State.
Yeah.
I think we see a whole lot more player movement unlike we used to see in the past. And here is the 2-minute timeout. (37-13), but the Racers still fighting to get some more points on the board. Enjoying a little Saturday night football here
Yeah.
Home team going to win here tonight, beating Murray State 37-13. But the Racers trying to get a late touchdown as they have it first and goal to go at the 3-yard line coming out of the 2-minute timeout. Wright going to keep it and run to the pylon and dive for the score. Baxter Wright scores the touchdown to make it 37-19.
And that's really special for him.
Indeed.
Get the snaps to come back into this building. He's played before.
He's going to go for 2 right here. This is the Baxter Wright I remember playing for the Gainesville Red Elephants. Just a tough kid, dual threat quarterback. Wright going to shovel the ball forward to Campbell. They get the 2.
Nice call.
2-point conversion for the Racers. That's a great play call right there by Jimmy Ogle, their offensive coordinator, or co-offensive coordinator. Makes it 37-21. And now I'm guessing they're going to onside kick. Working on all kinds of different things here. You know, in a late game situation like this, they're not going to win the game, but they're executing some plays, running some plays, and likely will line up for an onside kick right here for the hopeful situation down the road where they will be in a game where this matters.
Absolutely, absolutely. You don't wait until that time comes. You use games like this one for an opportunity to get out, execute, so when that time arrives, it's not a strange thing. It's something you've done before and had success with.
So they play at former OVC rival Jacksonville State next Saturday at 6 o'clock Central on ESPN+. That's also the alma mater of head coach Jody Wright.
Yep.
And of course, Jimmy Ogle was also on the staff there at Jacksonville State for a long time. So it'll be a homecoming for a lot of members of this Murray State coaching staff. And for Coach Ogle's son, Jim, chance for him to go back to his hometown as well. He played at Jacksonville High School. Led him to the state finals. Now the onside kick. Looks like a good one, but it's going to go out of bounds. That was not a bad onside kick.
Nope, that looked pretty good.
I mean, that's what you want on that onside kick. You want that bounce like that, that high bounce. Panthers did a good job of letting it go by him and not touching it.
Free kick out of bounds, number 0. 5 yards added to the end of the kick. First down.
So the Panthers will just take the ball where it went out of bounds. Panthers did a good job right there of not touching the ball. And Cam Brown, since subbing in here tonight, he's gotten some good playing time. 9 of 11, 101, and 3 touchdown passes tonight for Cam Brown.
Shows he can move this offense. And plus the element he has of running himself.
And I tell you what, Sam, despite the arrival of TJ Finley, who definitely looks like the #1 quarterback, Cam Brown has made a statement that he's not going to sit on the bench. He's playing so well, they got to figure out a way to get him snaps. And when they do, the team responds. The team plays with energy.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I've
we
really
saw him
been
go
impressed.
up tempo some, into the field, right back up on the ball on one of the possessions.
You know, and if Finley gets hurt this season, you know, this is the guy that's coming in. And Cam Brown is definitely, I would say, the heir apparent.
Very much.
Because he's going to have another season, I believe, of eligibility. It's hard to keep up these days, but he's listed as a 4th-year junior. Panthers going to try to run out the clock here. Trying to see
Jordan Simmons on the carry there.
Jordan, yeah, first time we've seen Jordan Simmons here. Panthers at Vanderbilt next Saturday night. That's on ESPNU. The next game here will be against James Madison, Sunbelt opener on October 4th. Then App State after that, then the trip to Statesboro to take on the Georgia Southern Eagles. So the Panthers look like they're going to kneel this one out, take the victory formation. Pick up their first win of the season. It'll be win number 4 for head coach Dell McGee. All-around solid performance for the Panthers here tonight, Sam. 456 total yards, 288 in the air, 168 running the ball. Murray will be on the road at Jacksonville State, then their conference opener at South Dakota. Next home game for the Racers not until October 11th against the Redbirds of Illinois State. Big night for Ted Hurst, Sam. 10 catches for 172 and a couple of touchdowns. Finley, 11 of 18 for 150 and a touchdown. Brown, 9 of 11 for 101 and 3 touchdowns.
Absolutely, absolutely. Great performances, absolutely, for Hurst. Great to see him have a big game like that. We saw him catch a ball in a number of different ways, yards after the catch, and then, of course, Finley starting, Brown coming on in relief, showing that both are capable of leading this offense. Now roll it together this week. We said there are a lot of penalty yards. They're going to work on cleaning those things up before they go to Nashville. Vanderbilt going to be a difficult test next week.
Our producer has been Tyreek Adams. Our director has been Patrick Glory. Our statistician has been Kevin Barnes. And now for my partner, Sam Crenshaw, and our entire fabulous ESPN Georgia State broadcast team. I'm Matt Stewart. Good night from Atlanta, where the Panthers pick up their first win of the season with a 37-21 victory over Murray State.